It always began the same way, not with sound, but with silence. The ocean outside Cora Bay went unnaturally still, as if the water itself was holding its breath. The waves froze mid-motion, flattened into a dark, endless mirror. Boats stopped rocking. Nets hung motionless in the water, as though time had forgotten them. Then the song began. At first, it was barely noticeable, a low vibration, like a distant hum carried through stone. People thought it was the wind passing through cracks in their walls. Others believed it was their own blood rushing in their ears. But it wasn't. The sound came from beneath the sea. It wasn't singing in the way humans understood music. There was no rhythm, no melody. It rose and fell like a wounded thing trying to breathe underwater. Every note dragged itself forward, wet and strained, as though the voice producing it had lungs that no longer worked. Children were the first to hear it clearly. They sat up in bed, eyes wide open, staring toward the shore. Some smiled. Others cried without knowing why. A few began whispering words no one had taught them, names of people long dead, names the sea should not remember. Dogs began to whimper. Grown men pressed their hands over their ears, only to realize the sound wasn't entering through them. It vibrated in the chest, in the bones, rattling the teeth. The song felt personal. It shifted subtly for each listener. For grieving mothers, it sounded like their children calling for help from far away. For lonely men, it whispered promises of warmth and understanding. For the guilty, it replayed their worst memories, softened, forgiven, made gentle. And underneath it all was another sound, a dragging noise, something heavy moving along the ocean floor. The water near the shore began to ripple, not outward, but inward, pulling toward a single point beneath the waves. Foam gathered in slow circles. Fish floated to the surface, eyes burst, mouth stretched wide as if screaming. Then the voice grew clearer, too clear. People began to recognize words, not spoken, remembered. The song spoke in the voices of loved ones, layered over one another, overlapping and breaking apart like drowned echoes. A mother heard her dead husband whisper her name. A fisherman heard his brother laugh the way he used to before the sea took him. Some fell to their knees. Others walked. Barefoot men stepped out of their homes, faces empty, eyes glassy, mouths curved into faint smiles that did not belong to them. They moved in perfect silence, drawn toward the shoreline as if pulled by invisible strings. No one screamed. Those who tried found their throats locked tight, as if the song had replaced their voices. As the men reached the water, the sea finally moved again. The surface bulged upward. Slowly, deliberately, something rose beneath it, distorting reflections, bending moonlight into twisted shapes. A pale silhouette hovered just below the surface, hair drifting like ink in water. The song reached its peak, and then hands broke through the waves, long, thin, jointed wrong. They wrapped around ankles, wrists, waists, pulling gently, lovingly, as if guiding lost children home. The men didn't resist. Some even sighed in relief as the water closed over their heads. The sea swallowed them quietly. No splashing, no struggle, just ripples fading back into stillness. When the song finally stopped, it left behind a ringing silence, so deep it hurt to breathe. At dawn, the shore was empty. No footprints leading back from the water. Only drag marks, and the faint impression of something massive pulling itself back beneath the waves. And far out at sea, where the water was darkest, something waited, remembering new names, listening, hungry. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and